The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the cemetery as elderly Mr. Thompson tended to his late wife's grave. It was a familiar routine for him. He often spent his afternoons here, surrounded by memories and the scent of blooming flowers. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Today, however, was different. As he knelt down, placing fresh lilies at the headstone, a sudden rustling sound caught his attention. He looked up, squinting against the sunlight filtering through the trees. A small, scruffy puppy burst through the iron gates, its tail wagging wildly. Mr. Thompson's heart warmed at the sight of the little creature bounding across the grass, seemingly unaware of the solemn surroundings. But as the puppy got closer, Mr. Thompson noticed something strange. The dog had a piece of torn paper clutched tightly in its mouth. Curiosity sparked within him. What was a puppy doing in a place like this, and what could it possibly have brought? The puppy darted past gravestones, weaving in and out of the scattered flowers, before finally stopping at a weathered headstone adorned with faded photographs. Mr. Thompson squinted to read the name, Emily Parker. He had heard whispers about Emily, a young woman whose life had been tragically cut short just a year ago. The community still mourned her loss, and Mr. Thompson couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness as he recalled the tales of her kindness and activism. With a curious tilt of his head, Mr. Thompson watched as the puppy dropped the torn note at the foot of Emily's grave. It stood there, panting slightly, as if waiting for something. Mr. Thompson felt an urge to approach, to see what the note said, but a strange unease settled over him. Was it normal for a puppy to bring messages to a grave? The thought sent a chill down his spine. As he leaned down to pick up the note, he felt a presence nearby. Turning, he saw a few other visitors in the cemetery, their expressions shifting from casual interest to shock as they spotted the puppy. Whispers began to circulate among them. "Is that the puppy?" one woman murmured, her eyes wide. "It comes here every day, doesn't it?" Mr. Thompson unfolded the note, his hands trembling slightly. The handwriting was shaky and faded, but he could make out a few words. "Help me find the truth." The words sent a jolt through him. What could it mean? He glanced at the puppy, whose eyes seemed to hold a depth of understanding that was almost eerie. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the cemetery shifted. A man from the group of onlookers stepped forward, his face pale as he recognized the grave. "That's Emily's grave. I know her family," he exclaimed, and the others exchanged glances filled with concern. "What does it mean? Why is the puppy bringing notes to her grave?" Mr. Thompson's heart raced. Had the puppy been carrying messages from Emily? Was it trying to communicate something important? The thought sent shivers down his spine. The other visitors moved closer, their curiosity piqued, forming a small circle around the puppy and Emily's grave. "What do we do?" one woman asked, her voice trembling. The urgency in her tone resonated with Mr. Thompson. They were standing on the edge of a mystery that demanded attention, and yet the fear of the unknown loomed large over them all. The puppy sat patiently, its gaze shifting from the torn note back to the growing crowd, as if urging them to understand. Mr. Thompson felt a mix of excitement and dread. Could they be witnesses to something extraordinary? Or were they merely being drawn into a tale of tragedy and loss? As whispers turned into frantic discussions, Mr. Thompson made a decision. "We need to figure this out," he said, his voice rising above the murmur. "There might be a message here, something Emily wanted to tell us." The group nodded, their expressions now a blend of determination and apprehension. One by one, they leaned closer, examining the note and the grave, hoping to unravel the secrets hidden beneath the surface. The puppy looked up at them, its tail wagging as if sensing their resolve. Whatever mystery lay ahead, they would face it together. With each passing moment, the weight of the situation deepened. Mr. Thompson realized they had stumbled upon something that could change everything. But what lay at the heart of this mystery? What truths were waiting to be uncovered? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the cemetery, the group gathered around the puppy and Emily's grave, their curiosity ignited. They knew they had to delve deeper, to seek answers and uncover the hidden connections that bound them all together. Little did they know that the stray puppy and its torn notes would lead them on a journey filled with surprises, secrets, and revelations that would shake their community to its core. The following day, the sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the cemetery. The air was still and peaceful, a stark contrast to the anxiety that had filled Mr. Thompson's heart the day before. He arrived early, determined to uncover the mystery behind the small puppy that had become a regular visitor. He found a bench near the entrance and settled in, watching the path for any sign of the playful creature. It was only moments before the puppy appeared, bounding through the open gates, a torn note once again clenched tightly in its mouth. Mr. Thompson's heart raced as he recognized the familiar sight. The puppy's fur was matted and dirty, but its eyes sparkled with life. It seemed to know exactly where to go, darting towards the same gravestone it had visited yesterday. With a joyful bark, it dropped the torn note at the foot of the gravestone and looked up, tail wagging expectantly. Mr. Thompson leaned forward, eager to see what the note revealed this time. He shuffled over to the grave and knelt down, picking up the piece of paper. The writing was messy and faded, but he could make out a few words. "Help me." "I'm sorry," the note sent shivers down his spine. Who was the message for? What did it mean? As he pondered the significance of the words, he felt a weight in his chest. He needed to know more about this grave, the puppy, and the messages it was bringing. Just then, he heard a group of people approaching, their footsteps breaking the stillness. Curiosity piqued, he turned to see a few local residents walking together, their expressions a mix of concern and intrigue. Among them was Lisa, the local teacher who had organized community events in the past. "Did you see the puppy again?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Yes," Mr. Thompson replied, holding up the note. "It dropped this just now. It's the same as yesterday, but this one is even more alarming." The crowd gathered closer, their curiosity igniting as they looked at the torn paper in his hand. Lisa took a deep breath, glancing at the gravestone the puppy seemed to be drawn to. "I heard about a woman named Emily Parker who was buried here. She passed away last year, and there were whispers about her life. People said she was an activist, but I never learned much more." The crowd murmured among themselves, glancing at the grave. Emily Parker had been a name on everyone's lips, but the details of her life had remained a mystery. Mr. Thompson felt a spark of excitement mixed with concern. Was the puppy trying to tell them something about Emily? "What if the notes are messages from her?" one of the bystanders suggested, shivering at the thought. "What if she left something unfinished?" Mr. Thompson felt a chill run down his spine at the idea. Was it possible that the puppy was a messenger, bringing urgent communication from someone who had passed away? Lisa nodded, her mind racing. "If these notes are from Emily, we need to figure out what they mean. The community deserves to know her story, especially if she was fighting for something important." The group exchanged glances, a sense of purpose igniting within them. Mr. Thompson felt a rush of determination. "Let's keep an eye on the puppy and see if it returns tomorrow. We might be able to uncover more messages." The group agreed, their resolve strengthening. The mysteries surrounding Emily Parker's life and the puppy's strange behavior were becoming intertwined, and they were all eager to solve it. As they stood together, the puppy returned to them, tilting its head with a curious expression, as if sensing the energy of the group. "What do you want us to do, little one?" Lisa asked gently, reaching out her hand. The puppy wagged its tail, sniffing her fingers, as if it could understand the weight of the moment. They made plans to gather again the next day, their excitement palpable. They would not only keep watch for the puppy but would also research Emily's life, hoping to connect the dots between the past and the present. Mr. Thompson felt a sense of hope blooming within him. They were on the brink of discovering something significant. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the cemetery, the group dispersed, each member filled with a mix of anticipation and curiosity. Mr. Thompson lingered for a moment, glancing at Emily's gravestone. "What secrets are you hiding?" he whispered to himself, wondering what truth lay buried beneath the surface. The next day, Mr. Thompson returned to the cemetery with renewed energy. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. He had done some research overnight, discovering that Emily had been deeply involved in local activism. Her efforts had focused on issues of equality and social justice, making her a beloved figure in the community. But her sudden passing had left a void that had not yet been filled. As he settled onto the bench, he felt a sense of urgency. The puppy arrived punctually, bursting through the gates with the same excitement as before. This time, it had 2 notes clutched tightly in its mouth. Mr. Thompson's heart raced as he rushed over, kneeling down to greet the puppy. "You're a little messenger, aren't you?" he said, smiling as the puppy dropped the notes at the grave. He carefully picked them up, glancing at the crowd of familiar faces gathering around him. They had come back to see what the puppy had brought. "Let's see what we've got today," Mr. Thompson said, unfolding the first note. The handwriting was even more frantic this time, and he quickly scanned the words, "I was afraid. I didn't know who to trust." The crowd exchanged worried glances, a sense of dread filling the air. What had Emily been afraid of? Mr. Thompson felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He opened the second note, reading aloud, "Please tell them the truth about what I found. I can't rest until they know." The gasps from the group echoed in the quiet cemetery, and Mr. Thompson looked around, confusion written across his face. "What truth?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I think she discovered something that could have changed everything," Lisa said, her eyes wide with realization. "If she was an activist, she might have stumbled upon something powerful that someone wanted to keep hidden." The puppy sat quietly, its eyes fixated on the group, as if understanding the importance of the moment. Mr. Thompson felt a sense of urgency surge through him. "We have to find out what Emily discovered. If her notes are leading us to something significant, we need to uncover it." With a newfound determination, they began to brainstorm ideas, discussing where to look for clues about Emily's life. Mr. Thompson suggested they reach out to people who had known her, hoping to gather more information. Lisa nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "I can contact her friends and see if they remember anything unusual," she offered, eager to help. As they made plans to dig deeper, Mr. Thompson felt a sense of unity forming among the group. They were working together to solve a mystery that could shed light on Emily's life and legacy. But as they prepared to leave, the puppy caught their attention again, barking excitedly and running back to the entrance of the cemetery. "What's wrong, boy?" Mr. Thompson called out, and the puppy turned back, looking at them expectantly. It seemed to want them to follow. "Maybe it wants us to see something," Lisa exclaimed, and without hesitation, they all began to move toward the gates, the puppy leading the way. As they reached the entrance, the puppy stopped, barking at a nearby tree where a small crowd had gathered. People were pointing and murmuring, their faces filled with intrigue. Mr. Thompson felt his heart race as he approached. "What's going on?" he asked one of the onlookers, and they gestured toward the base of the tree. "There's something here, looks like it might be part of a box." With renewed excitement, Mr. Thompson and the group knelt down to investigate. Sure enough, partially buried beneath the dirt and leaves was a small, weathered box. The puppy sniffed around it, seemingly approving of the discovery. Could this be what Emily was referring to? Lisa wondered aloud. Maybe she hid it here, thinking it would be safe. They carefully unearthed the box, their hearts pounding with anticipation. What secrets might it hold? As they pried it open, the sunlight glinted off the contents, revealing a collection of letters and photographs that appeared to have belonged to Emily. "Look at this," one of the bystanders exclaimed, pulling out a letter with Emily's name on it. They gathered around, eager to see what they had found. As they sifted through the letters, Lisa noticed that they contained detailed accounts of Emily's activism and the challenges she had faced. It was clear that she had been fighting against powerful forces in their community. The deeper they delved, the more they uncovered about Emily's courageous spirit and her commitment to social justice. "This is incredible," Mr. Thompson said, his voice filled with awe. "Emily was a warrior for her cause. She was fighting for what was right, and it looks like she knew there were people who would try to silence her. The group felt a mix of emotions, pride in Emily's bravery and sadness at her loss. But they also felt a sense of urgency to honor her legacy by continuing the fight for justice she had started. With the puppy sitting loyally by their side, they made a pact to share Emily's story with the community. They would not let her efforts go in vain. The letters would be the key to inspiring others and ensuring that her voice was heard. As they left the cemetery that day, a renewed sense of purpose filled their hearts. They were no longer just observers in Emily's story, they were now a part of it, ready to carry her message forward and make a difference. The puppy had brought them together, opening the door to uncovering the truth. Mr. Thompson looked down at the puppy, who wagged its tail happily, as if knowing it had played a crucial role in this unfolding mystery. "Thank you for leading us to this," he said softly. "You've helped us find Emily's voice." With their hearts set on the journey ahead, they knew they would honor Emily Parker's legacy and ensure that her fight for justice would continue, guided by the lessons she had left behind. Together, they would forge a path toward a brighter future for their community, united by the truth and inspired by the strength of a stray puppy. Lisa's heart raced as she processed Sarah's words. The mention of Emily Parker stirred something deep within her. Emily had been a well-known figure in their community, a fierce advocate for justice and equality before her untimely death the previous year. Lisa had admired Emily from afar, inspired by her bravery and her commitment to making the world a better place. She felt a rush of determination. If the puppy was delivering messages from Emily, then perhaps those messages held the key to something significant. "Are you sure it's her handwriting?" Lisa asked, leaning closer to the torn notes scattered on the grass. The puppy sniffed at the papers, as if it understood the gravity of the situation, its tail wagging eagerly. "Yes. I recognize it," Sarah insisted, her voice shaking slightly. "Emily wrote articles and letters to the editor. I've seen her notes before." A chill ran down Lisa's spine. If the puppy was indeed bringing messages from Emily, they needed to figure out what those messages were saying. Lisa glanced around at the gathering crowd. Everyone wore expressions of concern mixed with curiosity. "We need to find out what these notes mean," she declared, her voice rising above the murmurs. "If Emily had something important to say, we can't let it go unanswered." The crowd nodded in agreement, their eyes focused on the torn paper that seemed to hold a mystery they all wanted to unravel. Just then, the puppy dropped another note at Emily's grave. Lisa knelt down, her hands trembling as she picked it up. The paper was crumpled, and the ink was slightly smudged, but she could make out a few phrases. "Help me," it said, along with the words, "truth buried." The urgency of the note sent a jolt through Lisa. "What does this mean?" Lisa asked, her heart pounding in her chest. She held the note up for everyone to see, hoping for an answer. But the crowd remained silent, their faces pale with concern. "Maybe it's a sign," Sarah suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. "Emily may have left something behind. Something she wanted us to find." Lisa nodded, feeling a sense of urgency wash over her. "We need to dig deeper. What if she was trying to tell us something about her death? Or something she uncovered before she passed?" The idea sent her mind racing. If Emily had been involved in something important, it could be tied to her death or her work in the community. "Let's search her gravesite," someone called from the back of the group. Lisa felt a rush of agreement. They needed to investigate. With renewed determination, the crowd rallied around Lisa, urging her to lead the way. They moved toward Emily's grave, the puppy trailing behind them, looking up as if sensing the importance of what they were about to do. As they gathered around, Lisa felt a wave of emotion wash over her. This was more than just a grave, it was a memorial to someone who had fought tirelessly for justice. "Okay, everyone, let's be respectful," Lisa said, kneeling down to examine the area around the gravestone. "We don't want to disturb anything too much, but we need to see if there's anything hidden nearby." The group nodded, some beginning to search the ground while others stood back, watching and hoping for a breakthrough. Lisa felt a mixture of anticipation and fear. What if they found something shocking? Would it change everything they thought they knew about Emily? After several minutes of searching, Sarah called out, "Look over here." She pointed to a small, weathered box partially buried in the dirt near the base of the gravestone. Excitement surged through the group as they gathered around. Lisa's heart raced as she approached, kneeling down to brush away the dirt. The box was old, covered in grime, but it seemed intact. "This must be it," Lisa exclaimed, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "Let's open it." With the group leaning in closer, Sarah carefully pried the box open. Inside, they found a collection of letters, photographs, and various papers neatly stacked together. The puppy barked excitedly, as if urging them on. "What do we have here?" Lisa asked, her voice trembling with excitement. She reached in and pulled out a letter, the paper yellowed with age. "It looks like it's addressed to the community," Sarah said, peering over Lisa's shoulder. Lisa unfolded the letter, and they all leaned in to read together. "Dear community," it began, "if you are reading this, it means I have left this world, and there are truths that must be revealed." Lisa felt her breath hitch in her throat. The letter was clearly written by Emily, and its contents were about to change everything. "Emily was always fighting for justice," Sarah murmured, her eyes wide with disbelief. What could she have discovered? Lisa continued reading, her heart pounding with every word. Emily spoke of corruption within local businesses and hinted at practices that exploited vulnerable families. "There's a hidden agenda in our community," the letter warned. "Those in power must be held accountable." The crowd gasped, the weight of Emily's words sinking in. This wasn't just a message, it was a call to action. "Wow," someone whispered, the gravity of the situation becoming clear. Lisa could see the realization washing over everyone. Emily had been trying to expose something important, and she had left this behind for them to find. "Maybe these notes the puppy brought are clues to something bigger," Lisa suggested, her mind racing. "If Emily knew about corruption, there might be more evidence hidden away." "Then we need to find it," Sarah replied, determination in her voice. "We can't let her work go unfinished. She deserves justice, and so do the families she fought for." Lisa nodded, feeling a surge of hope. "Let's gather everyone and share what we've found. We can't keep this to ourselves." As the crowd began to buzz with excitement, Lisa felt a sense of purpose. They were not just uncovering Emily's secrets, they were igniting a movement. Together, they would seek justice for Emily and bring the hidden truths to light. As they prepared to leave the cemetery, Lisa glanced down at the puppy, who seemed to understand the significance of their discovery. "You're a good boy, aren't you?" she said, reaching down to pet its head. The puppy wagged its tail, as if ready for the next adventure. With the letters and photographs safely tucked away, the group left the cemetery, determined to honor Emily's legacy. They had uncovered the first piece of a larger puzzle, and together, they would ensure that Emily's voice would be heard once more. As they walked, Lisa felt a sense of unity among them, a shared goal to seek justice and create change. They were no longer just individuals, they were a community united in their fight against corruption. The journey ahead would not be easy, but Lisa was ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. With the support of her friends, the mysterious puppy, and Emily's powerful message guiding them, she knew they could make a difference. This was just the beginning, and Lisa felt a wave of excitement as they stepped into the future. Together, they would uncover the truth and ensure that justice was served, not just for Emily but for everyone who had been silenced. The sun had barely risen when Lisa Thompson arrived at the cemetery, her heart racing with anticipation. She could hardly shake the feeling that something extraordinary was unfolding, and she was determined to uncover the mystery behind the torn notes that the stray puppy had been bringing to Emily Parker's grave. With her notebook clutched tightly in her hand and a feeling of resolve washing over her, Lisa pushed through the iron gates, excitement tingling at the edges of her nerves. The cemetery was still quiet, the only sounds being the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of birds. As Lisa made her way toward Emily's grave, she spotted the little puppy waiting there, tail wagging in anticipation. It seemed as if the puppy was aware of her arrival, ready to deliver yet another note. The sight filled Lisa with a mixture of warmth and determination. This little creature had somehow become a symbol of hope and connection to a story that desperately needed to be told. "Hey there, buddy," Lisa said softly as she knelt down beside the puppy. Its bright eyes sparkled with an energy that seemed almost magical. She gently petted its head, feeling a bond with the little animal that had been bringing the torn messages. "What secrets do you have for me today?" The puppy barked happily, as if responding to her question, and Lisa smiled. She felt a surge of affection for this creature that had unwittingly become her partner in this investigation. As Lisa reached for the latest note, she noticed something peculiar. The puppy seemed unusually excited, bouncing on its paws and nudging her arm with its nose. Okay. Let's see what you've got," she said, pulling the piece of paper from the puppy's mouth. It was crumpled and torn, but she could make out some of the words. Taking a deep breath, she unfolded it carefully, her heart pounding in anticipation. The note read, "Please help me. The truth is buried beneath the oak tree." The words sent chills down Lisa's spine. Beneath the oak tree? What could this mean? Why was it so important that Emily was urging someone to find the truth? The urgency of the message hung heavily in the air. Lisa looked up at the nearby oak tree, its broad branches stretching high above. There was something mysterious about it, and Lisa felt an instinctual pull to investigate. With the note in hand, Lisa decided to gather the other witnesses from the previous days, the people who had shared in the unfolding mystery. She quickly texted Sarah, the woman who had recognized Emily's handwriting, and a few others who had been drawn to the puppy's strange deliveries. "You won't believe what I found. Let's meet at the cemetery," she typed, her excitement bubbling over. As she waited for the others to arrive, Lisa paced back and forth near the oak tree, her mind racing. Why did Emily want the truth revealed? Was there something hidden in her past that could change everything? As she pondered, the puppy sat quietly by her side, its ears perked up as if it too sensed the importance of the moment. Minutes later, Sarah and a small group of curious onlookers arrived, their expressions a mix of curiosity and excitement. "What's going on, Lisa?" Sarah asked, her eyes wide with anticipation. "You look like you've seen a ghost." "I think I've found something," Lisa replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She held up the torn note, and the group leaned in closer, reading the words aloud. The tension in the air thickened as they contemplated the meaning behind Emily's plea for help. "This is definitely something," Sarah said, her brow furrowing. "But what could be beneath the oak tree?" The others nodded, their expressions serious. They had all come to care about the puppy and the mystery that surrounded it. Lisa could feel their energy fueling her determination. "We need to check it out," Lisa declared, her heart racing with excitement. "Emily must have left something important down there. Maybe it's a clue to what she wanted us to know." The group exchanged glances, a sense of adventure igniting in their eyes. They quickly gathered around the oak tree, feeling a sense of purpose in their quest to uncover the truth. As they gathered beneath the sprawling branches, Lisa pointed to a spot where the roots of the tree twisted above ground, creating an inviting nook. "I think we should start digging here," she suggested, her voice filled with conviction. "It feels like this is where Emily wanted us to look." With determination in their hearts, they found a few small shovels and began to dig, each scoop of dirt bringing a rush of anticipation. The puppy watched intently, occasionally barking as if encouraging them. As the dirt flew, Lisa's excitement grew. What if they uncovered something that would shed light on Emily's life and her untold story? As they dug deeper, Lisa felt the weight of the moment settle over her. They were unearthing something that had been hidden for too long. Suddenly, Sarah called out, her voice filled with awe. "I think I see something." Everyone paused, hearts racing as they leaned closer to see what Sarah had discovered. Carefully, they brushed away the loose dirt, revealing a small, weathered box nestled among the roots. It was decorated with faded patterns and looked like it hadn't been touched in years. "What is it?" someone whispered, and Lisa felt a thrill of anticipation wash over her. "This must be it," Lisa exclaimed, her voice trembling with excitement. "This is what Emily wanted us to find." They worked together to carefully pull the box from its resting place, and when they finally lifted it out, the puppy barked happily as if it knew something important was about to happen. With shaking hands, Lisa opened the box. Inside, she found a collection of letters, old photographs, and a small amount of money. Each letter was addressed to different people, detailing Emily's thoughts, dreams, and fears. As she began to read through the letters, she felt a deep connection to Emily, understanding the struggles and triumphs she had faced. "This is incredible," Sarah said, her eyes wide with wonder as she looked over Lisa's shoulder. "These letters are like a diary." Emily was trying to communicate something important. The others gathered around, captivated by the contents of the box. As Lisa read the letters aloud, she uncovered a powerful story about Emily's commitment to her community, her fight for equality, and her desire to leave a lasting impact. The words painted a picture of a woman who had faced challenges head-on, a woman who had fought for what was right. Lisa felt a rush of admiration for Emily and a sense of responsibility to honor her legacy. One letter caught Lisa's eye in particular. It detailed Emily's plans to start a community program aimed at helping young black girls gain confidence and skills to succeed in life. "This is what she wanted to create," Lisa said, her voice filled with emotion. "This program could have made such a difference." The crowd fell silent, absorbing the weight of Emily's words. They realized that this wasn't just a collection of letters, it was a call to action. "We need to bring this program to life," Lisa declared, her heart racing with purpose. "We owe it to Emily and to our community." The puppy wagged its tail, seemingly understanding the significance of their discovery. Lisa looked around at the faces of her friends and neighbors, all filled with determination. "Are you with me?" she asked, her voice strong. "Let's make sure Emily's dream becomes a reality." "Yes," the crowd shouted, their voices ringing with enthusiasm. Together, they made a pact to honor Emily's legacy and create the community program she had envisioned. They would work together, drawing on the strength of their bonds and the spirit of Emily's words. As they packed up the letters and photographs, Lisa felt a sense of fulfillment. They had uncovered the truth, and with it, a path forward. The puppy bounded around them, barking joyfully as if celebrating their victory. They had not only discovered Emily's story but had also ignited a spark of hope and change within their community. Lisa knew that they would continue to dig deeper into Emily's legacy, and with the support of her friends, they would make sure that her voice would never be forgotten. Together, they would honor the past while building a brighter future for all. The stray puppy had brought them together in a remarkable way, and now they were united in a mission to uplift their community. As they left the cemetery, Lisa felt a sense of pride and purpose wash over her. This was just the beginning of a new chapter, one that would be filled with hope, connection, and the promise of change. The following day dawned bright and clear, but the air felt charged with anticipation. Lisa arrived at the cemetery early, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. She could hardly sleep the night before, thinking about the mysteries surrounding the puppy and the torn notes that had already hinted at something much deeper. Today felt different. Today, she would unravel the truth. As she walked through the familiar wrought iron gates, the sight of the puppy waiting at Emily's grave filled her with determination. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. He stood there, his small body quivering slightly with energy, his tail wagging furiously as if he could sense that today was the day they would finally find answers. The puppy glanced up at Lisa, his big brown eyes gleaming with what seemed like hope. "Good morning, buddy," she said softly, kneeling down to scratch behind his ears. "I'm glad you're here." The puppy yipped excitedly, nudging her hand with his nose, encouraging her to follow him. Lisa couldn't help but smile. There was something magical about this little creature. He was more than just a puppy, he was a messenger, a guide, and maybe even a friend. As she approached Emily's grave, she noticed several people had gathered, including Sarah, who had been there the day before. Lisa felt a surge of warmth at the sight of familiar faces, and she could see the curiosity in their eyes. They had come back, just as she had, ready to dig deeper into the mystery that seemed to bind them all together. "Do you think we'll find more notes today?" Sarah asked, her voice laced with excitement. What do you think it means? I don't know, Lisa replied honestly, but I think we're close to uncovering something important. Just then, the puppy darted forward, sniffing around the base of the large oak tree nearby. His playful antics drew the attention of the group, and they gathered closer, intrigued by his behavior. Look at him, one of the onlookers exclaimed. He seems to know something we don't. The puppy dug his paws into the ground, pawing at the dirt as if he were trying to unearth a hidden treasure. Lisa felt a thrill of anticipation. Maybe he does know something. We should check around the tree. The crowd murmured in agreement, and they quickly grabbed shovels and tools from their cars, ready to see what lay beneath the surface. As they gathered around the oak tree, Lisa took a deep breath, her heart pounding. Okay, everyone, let's dig carefully. We don't want to miss anything. She knelt down, the puppy eagerly darting back and forth around them, as if urging them on. With each shovel of dirt, Lisa felt her excitement grow. What could they possibly find? Was it more notes, or perhaps something that would connect them directly to Emily's story? The thought made her stomach flutter. She had to know. The first few shovels of dirt came away easily, but as they dug deeper, the ground became harder, and they had to work a bit more to uncover what lay hidden. Sweat began to bead on Lisa's forehead as she focused intently on her task. I think we're getting close, she said, glancing at the group. Everyone, keep an eye out for anything unusual. As they continued digging, the puppy sat by the side, watching them with keen interest. It was as if he knew they were on the verge of a breakthrough, and his presence only added to the sense of urgency. Suddenly, Sarah let out a gasp. Look! I think I see something, she exclaimed, pointing to a corner of the hole. Lisa rushed over, her heart racing. They all leaned in closer, eyes wide with curiosity. Buried beneath the dirt was the corner of a wooden box, its edges worn but intact. Can you pull it out? Lisa asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Sarah nodded, and together with a few others, they carefully unearthed the box, brushing off the dirt with trembling hands. It was small but surprisingly heavy, a sense of mystery enveloping it like a shroud. With bated breath, they set the box down on the ground, surrounding it like a group of explorers about to unveil a long-lost treasure. What do you think is inside? One of the onlookers asked, excitement tinged with nervousness. I don't know, but let's find out, Lisa replied, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. She reached for the latch, her fingers trembling slightly. Ready? With a deep breath, she pulled it open, and the hinges creaked ominously as the lid lifted. Inside lay a collection of letters and photographs, all carefully preserved. The sight of them sent a rush of emotions through Lisa. It was like opening a time capsule filled with memories, and she felt an overwhelming connection to Emily. The letters were yellowed with age, and as Lisa picked one up, she could see the familiar handwriting that matched the notes the puppy had been bringing. These are Emily's letters, she exclaimed, her heart racing. The crowd leaned in closer, captivated by the discovery. Can you read it? Sarah asked eagerly, her eyes wide with anticipation. Lisa nodded, carefully unfolding the fragile paper. The letter began with a date from years ago, and Lisa's voice filled the air as she read aloud, To my dearest friend, I have found myself in a situation I cannot escape. The words flowed over them, revealing Emily's struggles, her hopes, and her dreams for her community. As Lisa continued reading, it became clear that Emily had been working on a project that aimed to uplift those around her, and she had faced tremendous challenges in doing so. I'm afraid I might not succeed, but I want to leave a legacy that inspires others, Lisa read, her voice thick with emotion. Tears filled her eyes as she realized the depth of Emily's commitment to making a difference, even in the face of adversity. The puppy barked softly, as if sensing the importance of the moment. She wanted to help her community just like we do, Lisa said, looking around at the group. Suddenly, Sarah pointed to a photograph nestled between the letters. Look! It's a picture of Emily with a group of children. The image showed Emily beaming with joy, surrounded by smiling faces, and Lisa could see the passion radiating from her. Emily was a beacon of hope for these kids, Lisa said, her heart swelling with admiration. She believed in them, just as we believe in our community. The gravity of the moment sank in for everyone present. They were witnessing a glimpse into the life of a woman who had dedicated herself to making the world a better place. As they continued to sift through the letters and photographs, Lisa felt a sense of responsibility wash over her. This was a legacy that needed to be shared, a story that could inspire others to continue Emily's work. They couldn't let her efforts be forgotten. Just then, someone in the crowd exclaimed, "Wait! There's more!" They unearthed a larger envelope, sealed with a faded wax stamp. Lisa's heart raced. What could this contain? "Let's see what it says," Lisa urged, her hands trembling with anticipation. As they carefully opened the envelope, a stack of documents tumbled out. Lisa's eyes widened as she scanned the contents. "These are plans for a community center," she exclaimed. The documents outlined a vision for a space that would provide resources, education, and support for families in need. Emily wanted to create a place where people could come together and thrive, Lisa said, her voice filled with awe. The crowd buzzed with excitement, realizing the impact of their discovery. "We have to make this happen," someone shouted. "We can honor Emily by bringing her dream to life." Lisa nodded vigorously. "Absolutely. This is our chance to continue her legacy. We can start by organizing community meetings to gather support and resources." The puppy barked in agreement, as if he too understood the significance of what they had found. The energy among the group shifted, turning into a powerful force of determination. As they stood around the oak tree, the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the cemetery. Lisa felt a surge of hope. They weren't just uncovering Emily's story, they were igniting a movement that could change lives. With renewed purpose, Lisa addressed the crowd. "Let's not waste this opportunity. Together, we can create a community center that honors Emily's vision and helps those in need." The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices echoing through the cemetery. They had uncovered more than just letters and plans, they had found a purpose that would connect them all. As they gathered around the puppy, who sat proudly at their feet, Lisa felt a sense of unity and strength. They would honor Emily's legacy, and together, they would make a difference. This was just the beginning of a new chapter, one that would ensure that Emily's dreams would live on, inspiring future generations to come. And as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Lisa knew they were on the brink of something extraordinary. With bated breath, Lisa and the gathered crowd surrounded the oak tree, hearts pounding with anticipation. The atmosphere was thick with excitement and nervous energy as the puppy wagged its tail, eager to see what lay hidden beneath the earth. Each person clutched a shovel or tool, their hands trembling as they prepared to unearth the mystery that had haunted Emily Parker's legacy. "Can you believe we're actually doing this?" Sarah whispered to Lisa, her eyes wide with wonder. "What if there's something amazing inside?" "I know, right? This could change everything we thought we knew about Emily," Lisa replied, her voice a mixture of awe and determination. They had discovered that Emily had been a passionate community activist, and she had left behind something significant, a message for the world that needed to be heard. As they began to dig, Lisa felt a sense of purpose wash over her. Each shovelful of dirt that flew away brought them closer to unveiling Emily's truth. The excitement was palpable, and the onlookers whispered among themselves, sharing their hopes and fears about what they might find. The puppy, sensing the growing anticipation, barked excitedly, darting around the group as if encouraging them to work faster. "Okay, let's keep going," Lisa called out, her energy infectious. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just an ordinary discovery, it felt like a turning point for their entire community. After several minutes of digging, the shovel hit something solid. Lisa felt her heart skip a beat. "I think we've found it," she exclaimed, kneeling down to clear away the remaining dirt. The group gathered closer, eyes wide with excitement. They could see the outline of a weathered wooden box emerging from the ground, covered in soil and leaves. "Careful now," Sarah cautioned, as they gently brushed away the dirt. "We don't want to damage it." With collective effort, they pulled the box free, and Lisa's hands shook as she brushed off the last remnants of earth. The box was small but sturdy, adorned with rusted metal hinges. "What do you think is inside?" someone asked, their voice barely above a whisper. "I have no idea, but it's definitely a piece of Emily's story," Lisa said, her heart racing. "Let's open it together." As they gathered around the box, Lisa felt a wave of unity among them. This wasn't just about uncovering a hidden treasure, it was about honoring Emily's memory and the fight she had championed. They all leaned in, anticipation hanging heavy in the air as Lisa carefully unlatched the box. With a soft creak, the lid opened, revealing an assortment of items carefully tucked inside. The first thing Lisa noticed was a stack of yellowed letters tied together with a faded ribbon. "These look like letters," she said, lifting them out gently. She felt a sense of reverence as she held them, realizing they were pieces of Emily's past, words that had been kept secret for far too long. "Let's read one," Sarah suggested, her voice filled with curiosity. Lisa nodded, carefully untying the ribbon and selecting the top letter. She unfolded it, her eyes scanning the elegant handwriting. "Dear family," it began. "If you are reading this, it means that I am no longer with you. I have dedicated my life to fighting for justice and equality in our community." The words resonated deeply with Lisa and the crowd. They listened intently as she read on, learning about Emily's struggles, her dreams, and the injustices she had faced. Emily spoke of her passion for helping others and the importance of standing up against discrimination. Lisa's heart swelled with pride. This was a woman who had fought for change, someone who had inspired so many. As she finished the letter, Lisa looked up to see tears in the eyes of those gathered around her. She wanted to make a difference, Lisa said softly, her voice breaking slightly. And she did. But there was more to uncover. Lisa gently reached back into the box, pulling out a small photo album. It was worn but carefully preserved, its pages filled with photographs of Emily with friends, family, and community events. Each picture captured moments of joy and resilience, showing Emily surrounded by people she loved and fought for. "Look at this one," someone exclaimed, pointing to a photo of Emily at a rally, her face lit up with determination as she held a sign that read "Equal Rights for All." The crowd erupted in cheers, their admiration for Emily growing with each new discovery. Lisa flipped through the pages, her heart racing. She could feel the connection to Emily growing stronger with each letter and photograph. "She was so brave," Lisa said, her voice filled with awe. "This is incredible." Finally, at the bottom of the box, Lisa found a folded piece of paper. It looked different from the others, its edges frayed and worn. "What's this?" she wondered aloud, carefully unfolding it. As she read the words, her heart sank. It was a list of names, each one accompanied by notes about their struggles against discrimination and injustice. Emily was keeping track of those who needed help, Lisa said, her voice barely a whisper. "These names, they represent real people, just like us." The crowd grew quiet, the weight of the moment settling in. "This is powerful," Sarah said, her eyes wide. "This could help so many people if we share it." Lisa nodded, feeling the urgency of their discovery. "We can't let Emily's work go unnoticed. We need to honor her legacy by continuing the fight for equality." The crowd murmured in agreement, their determination palpable. Just then, the puppy barked, as if sensing the gravity of the moment. Lisa looked down and smiled, feeling a deep connection to the little dog that had brought them here. "You did it, buddy," she said, kneeling to pet the puppy. "You brought us together to uncover Emily's story." With a renewed sense of purpose, Lisa turned back to the group. "Let's organize a community meeting. We can share what we've found and discuss how to continue Emily's work. We need to ensure her voice lives on." The crowd erupted into cheers once more, their spirits lifted by the idea of coming together to honor Emily. They began discussing plans, ideas buzzing in the air as they all contributed their thoughts on how to carry forward the message of equality and justice. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink, Lisa felt a surge of hope. They had discovered something precious, a hidden legacy that could inspire change and empower their community. "Let's meet again tomorrow," she said, her voice strong. "We'll make a plan to honor Emily and ensure her story reaches everyone." The crowd agreed enthusiastically, and Lisa felt the warmth of unity among them. They were not just individuals, they were a community united in their fight against discrimination. Together, they would take Emily's message and share it with the world. As they prepared to leave the cemetery, Lisa glanced back at the oak tree, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey that had led them there. They had uncovered more than just a collection of notes and photos. They had unearthed a powerful message about resilience, justice, and the importance of standing together. With the puppy leading the way, Lisa felt the excitement of what lay ahead. They had the power to make a difference, to continue Emily's legacy, and to ensure that their voices were heard. As she stepped through the gates of the cemetery, Lisa smiled down at the little dog by her side. "Thank you for showing us the way," she whispered, knowing that together, they would create a brighter future for everyone in their community. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the cemetery, the air buzzed with excitement and a renewed sense of purpose. Lisa, Sarah, and the others gathered around the newly unearthed box, their hearts racing with anticipation. This was not just a collection of old papers, it was a treasure trove of memories and truths waiting to be shared with the world. The puppy, now an honorary member of their team, sat proudly beside Lisa, as if he knew the weight of what they had discovered. "Let's take a look at what we have here," Lisa said, carefully pulling out the letters one by one. She began to read aloud, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell." Each letter revealed snippets of Emily's life, her struggles, her triumphs, and her relentless fight for justice in the face of adversity. "Dear friends," one letter began, "if you're reading this, I've likely moved on to a better place. But my work is not finished. There are battles still to be fought." As Lisa read, the group listened intently, hanging on every word. It was clear that Emily had been a powerful force in the community, advocating for change and standing up against discrimination long before her untimely passing. The letters spoke of rallies she had organized, petitions she had championed, and the lives she had touched. Lisa could feel the energy in the air shift. They were no longer just reading about the past, they were stepping into Emily's shoes, feeling her passion for justice pulse through their veins. "This is incredible," Sarah exclaimed, her eyes wide with amazement. Emily was more than just a name on a gravestone. She was a leader. The group nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting a mixture of awe and inspiration. Just then, Lisa pulled out a faded photograph from the box, a snapshot of Emily standing proudly with a group of diverse community members at a rally, their fists raised in solidarity. The image was a testament to the strength of unity and the power of standing together for a common cause. "We need to honor her legacy," Lisa said, her voice resolute. "This is our chance to continue the work she started." The group buzzed with ideas, each person eager to contribute. They discussed organizing a community event in Emily's honor, a rally to raise awareness about the issues she had fought against. "We can invite speakers, share her story, and inspire others to take action," Lisa proposed, her heart swelling with determination. "We have the power to keep her spirit alive." The puppy wagged his tail, as if sensing the excitement around him. It was clear that this little stray had led them to something far greater than they could have imagined. "Without you, we might never have known Emily's story," Lisa said, leaning down to scratch the puppy behind the ears. "You're a hero in your own right." As the group discussed the plans for the event, Lisa felt a surge of gratitude. They were no longer just witnesses to Emily's story, they were active participants in ensuring her legacy would live on. Each letter, each photograph, was a reminder of the battles that still needed to be fought and the injustices that could not be ignored. That evening, as the sky transformed into a canvas of oranges and purples, the group gathered in a circle under the oak tree. The atmosphere was charged with energy and purpose. "Let's make a pact," Lisa suggested, looking at each person in the circle. "Together, we commit to carrying on Emily's work. We will stand up for justice, we will fight against discrimination, and we will honor her memory." Everyone nodded, their expressions serious yet filled with hope. They knew the road ahead would not be easy, but with Emily's story guiding them, they felt emboldened. The puppy barked softly, as if he understood the gravity of the moment. With a sense of unity, they decided to organize the rally for the following month, giving them time to spread the word and invite as many people as possible. They would share Emily's letters, her photographs, and her vision for a better community. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cemetery, Lisa felt a profound sense of connection to Emily and to everyone around her. They were part of something larger than themselves, a movement driven by hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief in justice. In the days that followed, Lisa and the group worked tirelessly to plan the event. They reached out to local organizations, secured permits, and designed flyers. The puppy, now a beloved mascot of their cause, accompanied them everywhere, bringing joy and smiles to everyone they met. His presence reminded them of the power of community and the importance of coming together for a common purpose. As the rally day approached, excitement filled the air. The community buzzed with anticipation, and Lisa could feel the energy building. People were sharing Emily's story, discussing the injustices they faced, and joining together to fight for a better future. The momentum was palpable, and Lisa knew they were on the brink of something significant. Finally, the day of the rally arrived. The park was filled with people, their voices ringing out in support of justice and equality. Lisa stood at the front, her heart swelling with pride as she looked at the crowd. They had come together to honor Emily's memory and to continue her fight for change. With the puppy by her side, Lisa took a deep breath and stepped up to the microphone. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice strong and clear. "We gather not just to remember Emily Parker, but to carry on her legacy of courage and resilience. Together, we will stand against discrimination and ensure that every voice is heard." The crowd erupted in cheers, and Lisa felt a rush of hope. This was what Emily had fought for, a united community ready to make a difference. As the rally continued, speakers shared their stories, and the energy in the air was electric. Lisa watched as the puppy wagged his tail, running around and bringing smiles to everyone. He had unknowingly led them to this moment, reminding them that sometimes the smallest voices can spark the biggest changes. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with vibrant colors, Lisa felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. They had not only honored Emily's memory but had also ignited a fire within the community. Together, they were committed to creating a future where everyone was treated with respect and dignity. With every word spoken, every story shared, they were forging a path toward justice, and Lisa knew that Emily's spirit would always be with them, guiding them in their fight for what was right. Today was just the beginning of their journey, but Lisa felt confident that together, they would continue to make a difference. The puppy barked happily, and Lisa couldn't help but smile. They were not just a group of people, they were a movement, one that would stand strong against injustice and carry on the legacy of those who came before them. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell.